Hey, howdy, howdy. Welcome to Elden Ring. That's a big old tree. Don't know what it means yet. Don't know what a lot of what anything means in this game yet, but I do feel like I've got a little bit of a leg up. I know that some people are, they seem pretty, in some ways, jilted by this game, and we'll get into all of that. So I recorded my first couple hours, really, of gameplay last night when the game came out, and I was experiencing all of this for the first time. This is not my first From Software game. In fact, I've played all of them except for Dark Souls 2. I've beaten Demon Souls on the PS5, the remake. I did not beat Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3, but I have played a lot of both of those games. I have beaten Bloodborne, I've beaten Sekiro. Pretty recently I got back and beat Sekiro. And then now we have Elden Ring, so I'm pretty well versed in these games. I know how they work. I've been looking forward to this for many, many years that they've said that it's, going to be coming out. And now that I can speak a little bit more on sort of like where I think that, this is going, I can say that I'm having a great time so far, but a lot of people getting very uncomfortable because I don't think they understood what these games are like. I don't think they understood that it was a From Software game. In fact, I've heard from a lot of people who were excited about the game based on just the general hype that they didn't realize that it was one of those. So let's say hello to Sinterklaas first. That's right, Sinterklaas.
Care to buy something?
Maybe I do, Mr. Kale. Maybe I do. Okay, so how many souls do I have? I've got 1,000 souls. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. So this is a cookbook that's for crafting. I don't usually do that in Souls games. I'm also gonna, I don't know what these notes do. I don't know what anything in this game does really so far, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab these just to...
Goodbye. Nice to do business.
Goodbye, Sinterklaas. So a lot of people don't really understand what these games are all about, and so I guess I'll do a little bit of explanation as to how these games work for the people that are just getting into this series for the first time. And that's the first thing that's made me very happy about this game, is that I was a little bit concerned, honestly. So when they first announced this game, the whole thing with it was that, okay, we're making a Dark Souls. These are my words, not theirs, but essentially the idea seemed like, okay, it's Dark Souls, but it is going to be truly open world. And then as information finally started to come out about, what exactly that meant, because in today's, in today's gaming economy, almost like calling something an RPG, the term open world, it means way less now than it did in the past. An open world game used to signify certain things that so many games do, and you hear people refer to it like, oh, this is going to be open world, this is going to, and it's like, well, is it open world? Like, if we're setting the bar as a Grand Theft Auto, or say a Bethesda, like a Skyrim or a Fallout, if that is sort of like the benchmark for what open world means in terms of like design, sort of the idea of, okay, we're gonna drop you off in this big world. There's a series of main quests, let's call them, that you can do, and that's like the main story. But really, my experience with, let's say, Skyrim is similar to most people who played it, which is that you do the main quest up to a certain point, and eventually you just start running around and doing your own, you start just doing your own thing, and then you start making your own adventures, and then you look back and you're 100 hours deep, and you haven't done anything in the main quest. You just sort of walked around until you found, you know, stuff to do, and that's. So anyway, to get back to what I was saying, initially, when they first came out with the idea that it's like, okay, it's Dark Souls, but it's going to be open world, my concern initially was, well, I love Dark Souls, and those games are really tightly crafted, and you have levels, literally. There's no exploration, not in the open world sense. So how is that going to translate? Because if you tried to do that in an open world, it would have to be a whole different thing. And my concern was that they would go the route of, hey, you know, let's attract a wide audience, and let's keep it Souls-like, but let's not make this a real Souls game, because those games are incredibly difficult, incredibly esoteric, hard to parse, hard to beat, hard to play. It's just, you know, I was concerned that they would kind of dumb it down, and also by the fact that it was open world, it would be something like a Souls game, but ultimately something different. And then I'm happy to report, and a lot of people who've bought the game are unhappy to report, that that is not the case at all. It is straight up Dark Souls in an open world. Like, straight up. It is like it's the dream come true for, you know, From Software, especially Dark Souls fans. I mean, it is truly, so far, even after a couple of hours, it is, what the hell? It is Dark Souls, where they drop you off in this world, and that temple you see in the distance there, that's where the game starts. Basically, they have a short tutorial, then you walk out, and then you're in this first big part of the map. Really, the only directive you get is you have some character who says, you're going to want to go up to that castle you see in the distance there, up on that cliff. And then that's basically it. And then you're left to your own devices to move around the world and see what's up. Okay, so we'll talk more about sort of the ins and outs of how the game works as we go here. So in my first couple of hours, which I played last night when the game was released, I wasn't planning on playing that long. It was late. I had work the next morning, but it was kind of hard to put down. At a certain point, it was getting on like past 1 a.m. and I found a good stopping point. And so now I'm ready just to really hone in here. But so if you've never played a Dark Souls game, the basic gist of it is you are going to be fighting enemies, and here we go, I'll give you a sense of the combat. You're going to be fighting enemies, and even though these particular enemies that I'm fighting right now are very easy, most of them are extremely difficult. The thing with Dark Souls has always been that pretty much any enemy at any time, including these guys, can and will kill you. And not only will they kill you, they'll kill you quick. And so as you kill enemies, you build up souls. In this game, they call them ruins or something. I think it's ruins, like runes. Yeah, it's ruined. Well, actually, no, it is ruin. This pieces of shit. It is ruins, like ruin, but you build those up as you kill enemies, and then you can see, oh no, that's the map. You can see here in the bottom right corner of my menu that there are 273 ruins that I've built up now, and let's go ahead and, so I didn't fight these. I saw these last night, so you gotta kind of always keep in mind, right, that you don't know anything. All right, that's poison for sure. You don't know anything usually about any of these enemies until you start encountering them. You always have to be on your guard. Even now, after I've killed that enemy, I don't like the fact that it kind of looks like a bomb, and I know that there's poison in it, but it looks safe enough. Nice, got him. Hell yeah. Another thing that I haven't really got, I'm going with the pretty standard Souls build, which is long sword and a shield. Uh-oh. And so I'm definitely playing with what I'm very familiar with, which has been helpful here early on. It plays exactly, like literally exactly like Dark Souls. Like no difference. Even the attacks are the same. Like the heavy attack being stabbed with the long sword. So I came into this with a bit of a leg up, not just understanding how these games work, but also being extremely familiar with how the character controls. But part of the joy of these games, is that a turtle? That is. Part of the joy, oh, look at him, he's good. Part of the joy of, I'm worried something bad's gonna happen. Okay, good. Sorry. I think it was just a turtle. So you never had in Dark Souls, in Souls games before, you never had, you know, creatures or animals walking around, but there is, you know, like most open world games, there is crafting and stuff. I haven't gotten into it too deep yet, so I don't really know what the extent is, but you can see me picking up these flowers everywhere, and there's animals that don't seem to be attacking. Nope. Ah, damn it. That don't seem to be attacking very much or at all, like the turtle and these birds. I don't think that was an eagle. That looked like an owl. Yeah, that was different. But yeah, I don't really know the full extent yet of how important it is, or what exactly you like. I obviously I can surmise based on what little crafting I've done that items. Okay, here we go. That items that you pick up will be made into other items, obviously, but I don't really know to the extent to which I need to be going out of my way. But really the joy of the game so far has been stuff like this. And I did this dungeon, this little mini dungeon last night, and nothing on the map is marked, so I'll show you the map here. So you actually see a lot of stuff filled out on the map, these colors and lines and stuff, and that wasn't the case when the game started. The map was blank. In fact, you were like uncovering fog, I believe, similar to this as you moved forward. I found something last night. I forget what it was, but I found something that unlocked just the markings on the map, which have been helpful. But you can see I'm right here at this Groveside cave, and there was another mini dungeon here, these Stormfoot catacombs. But I just kind of was wandering around as you do in a game like this, or a Breath of the Wild, and that's what this is most like so far. Stumbled on these little dungeons, didn't know what was up, went through them, and they had a boss for each of them. And you know, I for the first boss I died, I want to say like 4 or 5 times in a row, and that made me feel good, because if you've played these games before, you know that if you beat a boss on the first try, you got to be on some stuff, you know. But I was able to buckle down, and I died to the boss in this cave a couple times, but I beat them both, and I was starting to feel my character, feel myself, and let's get into it a little bit deeper here. So I'm going to go ahead and make my way to the section of the map that I got to last night, where I met the woman that levels you up. So in these games, in Souls games, there's always a relatively is unfair, a hot woman, usually of emo degree, which I appreciate. This is certainly a very emo game. It's more gothic, really, but you know what I mean. But there's always a woman who is the one in charge of you giving her your souls that you get from killing enemies to level up. And every time you level up, it doesn't look like there's any enemies around, so I'll show that off real quick. You can see I'm level 14. I was level 10 when I started. There's a ton of classes in the game, but like I said, I'm going with the very basic one. Let's just call it the default. And so I've leveled up 5 times, and so you can see over there with the it is ruins. I've got 500 right now, and I need 1445 to level up. Are they coming for me? I need 1445 to is that deer right by me? As you can, there is no pausing in the game due to the online components, but I need 1445 to level up, and every time you level up, you get to raise one of your stats. So you can see your attribute points down there. Again, I came in with a leg up because I know exactly how these stats work. They adjust a lot of stuff. We'll get into that later when I level up, but vigor is basically mostly controls your health. Mind, I'm not 100% sure, but that mind controls your FP, your magic points power. Like in terms of like your MP. Endurance is the most important stat in the game, always was, always will be. That's your stamina and your equip load. That's that green bar you see on the main screen. Strength is related to certain weapons. The long sword is one of them. Dexterity is related to certain weapons. Usually it's quicker swords, rapiers, and things of that nature, daggers. Intelligence, I believe, is related to your... So there's 2 types of magic. There's in this game, they're called... what are they called in this game? So there's sorceries. That's going to be more like your black magic. That's controlled by your intelligence. And then your incantations, those are going to be more like your white magic, per se, and that's going to be based on your faith. Arcane, I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if there's like maybe like sometimes there's like a third kind of magic type that the games will get into. Usually, I think in Dark Souls games, usually that arcane, I think they have it in Bloodborne as arcane too, but it's related to your luck stat. Generally speaking, you usually don't upgrade your luck. That's kind of like the last thing you'll do. There's just certain builds of characters that get into it, but okay, so this is basically how the game works. You're wandering around and you stumble on what are basically sort of like mini Dark Souls levels. So this is the Ruined Gate or something like that. And this is a very small, basically Dark Souls level where, the gate front ruins. And so stealth is definitely a thing here. I found that you definitely need to utilize stealth to your advantage. Rolling is very important. Obviously blocking with your shield in this case, since my build is very shield heavy, is going to be important as well. But like I said, it's really easy to lose sight of kind of where you're at and what you're doing. And the thing that'll get you killed more often than anything else, you see I got a backstab there. The thing that'll get you killed in these games more than anything else is alerting a bunch of enemies. Because I had mentioned, and you're seeing me make... Oh, yep, see, that's an issue. So, homeboy just laid on the horn, and now all of these dudes... see, this is a big problem. I gotta get out of here very quick. One-on-one, enemies aren't too bad. Ah! See? I'm in trouble. One-on-one enemy, and I haven't fought this guy yet, and so I'm kind of concerned actually, because I don't know how. All right, this is where my training's gonna have to come in. Oh yeah, that's fucked. He's a tough one. And now I got, all right. See, that went south for me really quick. Because now I've got all of these enemies on me. And if they would have gotten me all bunched up and out of sorts, it would have been over for me, 100%. So if you never played one of these games before, you're probably not aware, but basically the way that these games work is that you build up souls by killing enemies, like I said before. But once you die, ooh yeah, he's hitting hard. I could probably get him, but I cannot take too many hits. If I didn't have to worry about these freaking gargoyle looking things, I could at least make an attempt. Ooh. Ah. Alright, I got this guy. So you can see that every attack that you do is costing me stamina, and that's really one of the biggest things that governs how well you do in combat is how much you can block, how much you can roll, and then also how much you can attack, because you're constantly going to be dodging and I better heal up just in case. Alright, that was my last flask. Shit. Let's go for it. Ah. Fuck. This isn't looking good. Alright, I can't let the people down. I just gotta go for it. If I take one more hit though, I'm done. See, if I was being smart and cautious, I would not attempt what I'm about to, but you gotta be brave here. Alright, shields up. Come on. Come on, attack. If I can just get him off balance, all I gotta do is hit him like 2 times, I think. You can also jump in this game, which you can never do that in a Dark Souls or any Souls game. See, this guy is good, he's smart. I just gotta get him off balance. Fuck. He got me. Son of a bitch. There you go. There you have it, you know. That's par for the course. So when you die, you'll go back to the last bonfire that you spawned from. They also have a different, something new in this, which they have these statues of Marika, which is one of the gods or whatever. And what those do is they basically serve as like a separate spawn point. So like in this case, since, you know, they imagine that as you're playing the game, you'll probably die in this area, the ruins in front of us. And so instead of making you go all the way back to the bonfire, they're like, look, we're not putting a bonfire here, but if you die, you can just start back at that statue instead of having to go all the way back to whatever bonfire you're at. So like all Souls games, when you die, your ruins that you had, they spawn at the spot where you died, and you have to go back and get them without dying again. So you can see I got my 1,000 runes back, which, you know, in a situation like I was in, I wasn't worried about dying too much because it's like, okay, I hadn't killed a bunch of enemies. I only had 1,000 ruins. I could get those back, no problem. But there's plenty of times in these games, and I don't know how much that's going to factor into this one. There's plenty of times in these games, though, where you'll be towards the end of a section of a level, and you'll have several thousand, you know, souls, and then it's like, what do I do? Do I go back and bank these souls and level up? Or do I just keep pushing on? And it's a constant sort of debate. And that's part of why these games are so hard, is that you can't die. And if you do die, you're risking losing what potentially could be a lot of progress. But if you always play it safe, like you saw in that last thing, part of the reason why I lost that guy is I was playing it super safe. And it's always a good idea, if you're gonna kill them, you're gonna have to get in that ass. You're gonna have to get in there and attack. You can't always just be blocking and holding off. So there's always that risk and reward, and that's here too. Okay, so let's get to the area that I left off yesterday, and it's on my way to the only thing that is a main quest so far. Now, to be clear, nothing is preventing me from going off to any of these other places that you see, but I feel like for now, and what I want to kind of do first is just follow the main quest until I see sort of what that's all about, because there's a lot of core mechanics that I'm unlocking by just following the main quest. Like, for example, I didn't get the ability to level up, which is, you know, obviously huge. I didn't get that ability until I got to this bonfire right here. Also, this is Torrent. He's your ghost horse. You can summon him anywhere. There's combat on the horse, which is tricky, but I'm starting to kind of dig that it's, you know, it doesn't feel cheap. It kind of does, but I'm assuming that they'll, you know, it's definitely not super easy. But you can call your horse wherever. And then to get him to go away, I'm trying to remember. I think I just pressed the button again. Yeah. See, he's a ghost. All right, so let's rest at the site of grace in the bonfire. So these are the bonfires. These are like checkpoints. They serve as, so you can fast travel between them too, which is helpful. I haven't had to really use it yet because it's just fun to explore and run around, and you can pass the time. There's a day-night cycle, which there's never been in these games before. You can level up if you've got enough souls. So I need 300 more. So I'm actually going to go back into those ruins real quick and kill a couple guys and get one more level. You can upgrade a bunch of other stuff. Here's Melina. She's my ghost girlfriend. Yeah. For me.
Given to me by my mother inside the earth tree long ago.
You seem lonely, Melina.
I yet live, burned and bodiless. There is something for which I must apologize.
What is it?
I've acted the finger maiden, yet can offer no guidance.
Finger maiden, huh?
My purpose was long ago lost.
Look, everyone's got a past. I don't care that you're not a virgin. Anyway, Melina here. She's a ghost or something. I'm not really sure, but she's gonna be in charge of leveling your character up. All right, so let's kill some more of these dudes. Let's get some of these dudes down, and then we can potentially... I hate these shield. I hate like that. So you can see that my shield ate that hit. I didn't take any damage, but it took a lot of my stamina away. And usually, and I'm sure it's the case in this game too, usually if an enemy's attack is strong enough to where it depletes all of your stamina, then you'll take that hit and you'll get knocked off balance. So you'll take like extra damage, and sort of if you survive the hit, you'll be kind of in a very vulnerable state. Come on. All right, I'm getting 60 for the base enemy here. Kill a few more of these guys. So these shield guys, once you get them off balance, once you get through that shield, it's not too bad. Okay, where am I at? 14, 19. I think I need to kill one more. Just sneak up on homeboy, get this quick, and I also want to get those moths. Alright, I think that should be enough. I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's get Melina in here. Where is she? She didn't want to talk, I guess. Alright. Fair enough. Okay, but now see, we've got 1483, and we got just enough to level up. So for these builds, I usually focus on vigor, endurance, and strength. It's very simple. The longsword weapon that I have, it scales, and I won't get into all that, but basically every time I raise my strength, it's gonna have that attack power go up. So if I raise my strength, I'm gonna do more damage with my sword. If I do more endurance, I'll have more stamina, which that translates with the longsword to how many swings I can do in a row. And that becomes important, especially when you're like dodging around, and obviously your shield is based on your stamina. So, when you're blocking attacks and dodging, you also need stamina left to swing your sword. And so endurance always goes the farthest. And then vigor, health is, pretty obvious. But all of these levels, no matter what, are going to raise up my general defense, which is good. I'm gonna err on the side of caution and take the stamina. Anyone that's played a Souls game knows that stamina is always going to be the most important. You can't usually just dump all of your points into it, but you're going to want more stamina than anything else, regardless of your style of play and your class. All right. So let's carry on. So everything from this point is brand new, and I can already see that I'm assuming that dude is probably going to jump. Ah, shit. All right, I gotta. Oh, yeah, there he is. Of course, they're archers. This doesn't look good. All right, let's get rid of. Okay, there's. Of course, there's a frickin'. Okay, well, he killed his own dudes there. So one thing that I guess I shouldn't say you've never been able to run past your. I shouldn't say you've never been able to run past enemies in these games, because that wouldn't exactly be true. But for the most part, shit. Okay, I see it. For the most part, you really can't, you really don't have much of a, watch out, fuck. You really don't have much of a, okay, I think I've gotten everybody except for big guy. Okay. Okay, I can target body parts. I'm assuming if I get his legs, I could probably... Ah! Get in there. Get out, get out. No. I gotta focus here. So, big part of these games is learning the attack patterns of the bosses. That's part of the reason why you have to usually fight them a ton. It's always a good strategy. Get behind them. Get out of there. Shit. All right. I'm doing damage on them, but yes. Come on. Get in there. Okay, get out. Get out. All right. As long as son of a. Of course. Of course he has a sword. Ooh. See, I'm wasting a lot of stamina by just swinging wildly like that, and I shouldn't be doing that. Alright, I can get this guy. Alright, he just did that one. Oh. Okay, wait, he's gonna have that stuck. Get out, get out. Back. 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 Nope, nope, get out. Okay, I didn't take much damage there. I'm not sure why. Okay, I can get this guy. As long as he doesn't have some crazy... Alright, he's gonna go again. Yep. Ah, fuck! I had him! I ran out of stamina. Son of a gun. Son of a bitch. Alright, right back at it. Now the thing I didn't mention before, every time you die. Okay. Every time you die, all of the... Well, not just die. Every time you stop at one of the bonfires to, you know, refill your health and your flask health refills. You can see I've got 4 of them. You get more as the game progresses. Okay, there's only a few guys left. Maybe just the one. Okay. Alright, I think that guy's dead. Is he? Yeah. There's, what is there, one guy left? Son of a... every time you die or you rest at the bonfire, all the enemies in the world... Yes. Alright. Okay. Now I got all my flasks. And I'm good to go. Alright. I know your tricks, dude. Ooh, the key is always to get up in there and then get out. It's always... It's when you get greedy... Like here. See, I got a little... I had the... Son of a bitch. I had the right idea, but I was getting caught up on those rocks. And when you catch them in a spot like that... Okay, get out of there. Bad swing. You never want to get greedy. Lucky. Was it sword time? No, we gotta get him halfway for sword time. No, it's sword time. Although, to be honest, I don't know. I kind of found like, I find the sword part to be maybe a little bit easier to read. Sort of like what he's on about. Gonna swing again. Ah! Get out of there. Is he gonna lunge? Yep. Okay, I'm good. I got one refill. Whoop. Oh, that was very lucky. Don't get greedy. Get out! Get out! Alright, I can get this guy. I can get this guy. I gotta use all my training. Watch out, he's gonna do it again. Nice. Get in there. Get in there. Watch out. Yes. God damn it, hit him! I have to like change my target from the freaking... Fuck. I have to change my target from leg to leg, so... There have been times where I'm up against the other leg and then I'm not swinging. Play it smart, play it safe, and I think I'll make it out of this. He's gonna swing again. Nice dodge. He's ready to attack again. I'm in. No. Get out of there. Ah, shit. I had him. I should have went for it. Ooh, this is gonna be risky. Yes! Done, son! You piece of shit! I love this game, dude. Oh, alright. Okay, no rest for the wicked, though, obviously. So normally, you'd think to yourself, like, Dr. King, you madman, you did it. Go, go refill your health. Because... Oh, wait, I still have 3 flasks? Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. I forgot that. Okay, so something that this game does that Souls games don't normally do is that when you kill some groups of enemies in the open world, or when you kill like a boss like that, it will refill your health flasks, and that's a pretty good case. That situation just there. Okay, there's people hiding in those bushes. Okay, they're all, yep. All right. Okay, I gotta do these guys one by one. Let's get in there and do some damage. Alright, good start. Alright, that takes away 2 of them. Now, is this guy... He's just a normal dude. Oh yeah, you guys are done, son. What you got, Hammer Boy? Nice. See, for killing that group of enemies, I got my flasks refilled too. Because if I were to go back to the bonfire just before that last boss, I'm not 100% sure if they would make me fight that big guy again. I have to imagine that some of these bosses, especially ones that are just like blocking a path in the open world, like, it's not beyond them to make me do it again, to be clear. But my concern is that they would make me fight him again if I went back and you know, refilled at the bonfire. But now that I've gotten the flask back for beating him, and then that group of enemies was not as tough as they could have. Those enemies are no problem, even in a group like that. I could handle them. But this is where you always got to be careful in these games, because you never know what is hanging around the corner. And so it is always in your best interest. That's pretty cool. Those weather effects. It is always in your best interest to tread lightly in these games. And I've noticed with Elden Ring, there's a little bit less of that. Like, for example, like in this, and I recognize that. Oh wait, no, that's not. Oh yes, so that's a golden seed. So that item is going to, when I get to a bonfire, I can trade that item in for in another flask, which is huge. These weather effects are cool, man. Wait. Oh, shit. See what I mean? Of course there's a pack of wolves. Why wouldn't there be? Okay, but as long as I don't get caught up with the pack of them, that should be good. Alright. Oh, that got me a flask too, so I'm sitting pretty, man. But you can see, and it's you know, there's a group of enemies coming up. I see them in the distance. But you can, what I was gonna say is that, are they turning around? Wait. All right, so these things will help guide you to usually bond. Yeah, baby. You better believe we're touching for grace. Let me go ahead and scope this little bungalow out, though. So what I was going to say is that you could see on those the sides of the path and into the distance, you can see that there's, you know, nothing preventing me from just being like, what's over there? Is that looks like a friendly. Hello. Who are you? Wait a minute. What's the message say? Could this be a hole? So, if you've never played one of these games before, then you wouldn't understand the concept, but those little messages on the ground, those are left by other players. So this is a multiplayer game, and there's different degrees of what that means. You can play a co-op, which is to say that if you're playing on the same system as somebody, you can pretty much just summon them at different points and play through the game together. And that's the case with most, well, I think in a lot of, I'm not really sure because I never really get into that stuff, but in some of the other games, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, the co-op, if I remember correctly, is really, it's more about fighting bosses. Ooh, a stone sword key, eh? It's really more about fighting bosses. I feel like in most of those games, you are just summoning someone exclusively to help you fight a boss. I could be wrong on that. Stone sword key, used to break one imp statue seal. Alright, I have no idea what that is. But in this game, my understanding is that you can pretty much just play everything with a buddy, which sounds awesome. To just go through this whole, you know, go through all of the exploration of it, you know, discovering everything with a friendly. Then the other side of this, and this is the part that is the other half of the multiplayer aspect is the PvP. And that's huge for some people. They get really into it, where you're you're just doing the same combat, but you're just fighting against other players. And that's really big, especially in late game stuff where you've beaten the game essentially, and then you can see these ghosts run around, those white outlines. Those are other players playing the game, like right now. So when you see one of those ghosts run by, they're either like literally in that spot right here now, or they were recently. And a lot of times that can be helpful to sort of get a sense of where people are at. There's also the idea of bloodstains. So you can see a ghost there in the distance. There's also the concept of bloodstains, which is when you die, you leave a bloodstain. And if you're online, you'll see a bunch of those, especially in spots where people have tended to die. And then if you interact with them, you can see their ghost, and you can see sort of a vision of how they died. And that's helpful too in a lot of situations to see sort of what got them. But you can leave these messages, and they're a lot of fun. And some of them are helpful, some of them are jokes, some of them are misleading on purpose. Let's see what this person's about.
Been grafted.
Everyone?
Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They fought for me. Only to have their arms taken. Their legs taken, even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to the spider. Did you know, if you're grafted by the spider, you become a chrysalid? It's quite a lark when you think about it.
Alright. So I just unlocked the sitting sideways pose.
You're all on your own, are you?
Yes, I am on my own.
Stormvale Castle.
Yes, that's the idea.
Enticed by the one in the white mask, I suppose. Oh, you've come to be one with the spider. Wow, that makes us two peas in a pod.
In a pod.
I don't have your courage. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off, or legs, or your head. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven.
Ah, come on. Look, who's... cheer up.
So, can you take this little one along with you?
Ooh, the spirit jellyfish ashes.
The poor thing deserves someone braver than myself. And the spirits look rather fondly upon you.
Well,
Be glad of your company, I think, the little one. It was a pleasure to see you. Oh, can you pass on a message for me? If you see the little chrysalids, and tell them I love them. I'm finally getting the hang of this whole pain thing, you know. It was a pleasure to see. Oh, tell them I love them. I'm trying to get.
so you'll come across these NPCs in the world, and it's a common thing in Souls games where some NPCs like that. Oh, let's see a bloodstain. So somebody died here. Where are they? I can't see them. It's not loading. I imagine that in a lot of cases, some of the online stuff must be a little bit janky right now, since there's gotta be millions of people playing this game. Anyway, I'm about to run up on my recording limit here on the PS5. But this is as good a spot as any, I think, to wrap this particular video up, because even though I didn't get to do too much of the exploration, I did a lot of that in my last playthrough, and I'm not 100% sure if that video is going to go up. If it does, then you've already seen it, but otherwise, you definitely get sort of a sense of kind of what this game is about, except more in the mainline sense. I didn't get to go off the beaten path too much, but that's kind of Elden Ring, and you know, I know I spent a lot of this video talking about other From Software games, Dark Souls mostly, but it's impossible to talk about this game. I mean, explaining a Dark Souls game is explaining this game. The big difference just being that, you know, in Dark Souls you can't just run off in the distance. And like I can see in the distance, if you, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but there is a giant troll or something that is just kind of holding court over yonder. And if I wanted to, I'm running over there and I'm, you know, seeing what's up. But that'll do it for this one. Let's go ahead and let's touch our grace. Ooh, that's a good feeling. And let's go ahead and rest. So now that I've rested, all those enemies in the whole world are going to repopulate, which is, you know, it's crazy to think about in the sense that the entire map is going to repopulate. So everything is back, you know. So do I have enough to level up? I do. Do I have time to level up? I've got time to level up, but I'm getting real close to that limit. I'm going to go with the strength. I want to do a little bit more damage. And then after that, I'll probably go with health, but you can see that a lot of the time. Okay, so I'm going to add to my flask. Use the golden seed. You better believe it. Hell yeah. So now I've got another flask. So you can actually allocate your flasks. The blue ones are for magic power, and the red ones are for health. My character doesn't use any magic, at least not yet. In Dark Souls, this character would never use any magic, really. So I don't need to use any of them for magic. I just have all 5 as health refills, which is good. But yeah, that's Elden Ring, or at least a very small part of it. Certainly going to be more coverage to come. So stay tuned, and I'm very, very excited, and it's already happening, to see all the people who buy this game because they have no idea what it is or what a Souls game is. And I've already started to see it, and it's filling me with glee. All these people complaining about, I don't understand what to do, because all From Software games are notorious for, like, they do not explain any of this stuff. None of this stuff is explained, and it never will be. The only reason I know this stuff is because I played all these other games before, and you know, and I've looked through a lot of build guides, not for this game but for the other ones. So I'm intimately aware. I put a lot of effort into learning how these games work, and I can imagine with the extra element of like having this open world and being able to go wherever, that it could be pretty infuriating if you don't know what these games are. And there's so many people who are just already up in arms on the internet saying this game sucks. They're not explaining anything. I don't understand what's going on, and it's extremely difficult. It makes the heart. It makes the what do they call it in this game? The Forsworn. It makes the Forsworn heart a little bit happy. Anyway, that's Elden Ring. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.